And you look at Georgia tight end Brock Bowers. He's number 1 on Daniel Jeremiah's top Georgia prospects. You're also seeing Amarius Mims at the tackle and wide receiver Ladd McConkey. And while we're speaking on top Georgia prospects, let's talk to that man, Amarius Mims, who's joining us from Athens, Georgia. Love the smile. Look, Amarius, you are a week away. Like, what is your anxiety like knowing that the draft is exactly 1 week from today?
At first I was just trying to keep my mind clear of it and just, have a clear mind going into it. But I talked to my dad and my mom this morning. They reminded me, they was like, it's a possibility, you could be getting drafted in a week. And I was like, oh my God. And then my mind started rushing. I'm like, okay, it's definitely hit me now. A week away, it's definitely hit me.
Okay, well, don't peak too early. You still have some time. But tell me this, Amarius, what is it like being projected as a first-round selection?
Honestly, it's just a blessing, because there's a lot of guys that play college football around the United States. And that's just to be one of those guys, possibly be a first-rounder eventually, hopefully, that's the case. But, it's just a blessing, honestly, and that's just coming from, just good coaching, coming from playing with some great players and all that good stuff, man. Playing really getting developed, and from high school all the way to now, man. It's just so much to be thankful for. I'm blessed to be in the shoes that I am in today. So
you talk about that process being developed from high school, practicing against all of these elite players, but you only have 8 starts. You played a lot of games, and it seems like it's a little deceptive if people just look at the fact that you only have 8 starts. Because, again, you played in the championship game and things like that. But when you've gone on your visits, do teams ask you about the limited number of starts?
Yeah, that's everybody. I mean, of course we're gonna get asked about it. I was fortunate to play at a great O-line room my freshman sophomore year. Had some strong battles with guys like Warren McClendon, Broderick Jones, Amari, and all those guys. So I got some playing time freshman year. It wasn't any significant time, but sophomore year was kind of hard just because I was in a 3-tackle rotation where I was with 2 other good tackles. So it's we all out there battling every day. Just to get 30, all 3 of us just get 30, 40 reps a game. So, it is what it is. Starts are the starts, but I feel like even with that 8 career start, I don't think it's a big deal in my opinion. I feel like, if you want to, cut the film on, the film's there. So.
Well, to that point, our former NFL offensive lineman and film expert Brian Baldinger has called you the human eclipse, right? 6'8", 340. This guy blocks out the sun. But what about your athleticism? Like when you get on an NFL roster, what do you bring at that right tackle spot?
I just try to, work all the time with flexibility and all that good stuff. Because I feel like, you have big guys, who can't be able to move. And, I feel like, being able to move is definitely another, a piece of my game that I try to bring, try to get out on quick screens, whether that's tackle pulls and, just quick trap plays where tackles get out on, like I said, the screens and stuff. So I feel like that's the element in my game that I can use and, help make me a better tackle prospect. So.
All right, well, look, unfortunately, we're out of time because I'd love to talk to you. We're talking off camera about all these flights you've had to take and even it's the most you've ever traveled on a plane. We'll get to that once you're on an NFL roster. Best of luck to you. Looking forward to hearing your name called next Thursday in Detroit.
Yes, I appreciate you.